this to every... The spelling of the sacred name.
All the way to the beginning?
Yahweh.
All the way to the beginning.
Yeah, beginning.
A cosmic
You don't really start talking about it.
It's all good.
Okay.
Is ironically in the people who we thought were our enemies, scientists who we thought were so rational. At any rate, one of these scientists that I was listening to several years ago also happened to be a Jewish rabbi. And in his talk, he said, you know, you Christians never really understood the meaning of the third commandment, to not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. He said, for some reason, you thought that that meant you were not supposed to say, God damn you. Well, it isn't very nice to say, God damn you. But do you know that's not even close to the meaning of the commandment? Vanus is emptiness. To speak something in vain is to speak it with emptiness, with futility. It's a waste of time. He said the meaning of the commandment, as it was understood for centuries in Judaism, was don't even speak the name. Don't ever in your lifetime pronounce the sacred name Yahweh. Never. And he said this gave us, at the very beginnings of the Judeo-Christian tradition, a cosmic humility about God. That once you think you've got God in your pocket, that you understand the great mystery, religion always becomes, he said, arrogant and idolatrous, where we love our explanations of God more than actually falling in love with God, where God refuses to ever be an object of the intellect, but is only known by those who enter into love and surrender. Secondly, he said, and probably a lot of you know this, that when you write Hebrew, you actually just write the consonants. And what it means to be an educated Jew is to have memorized the appropriate vowels and to know how to fill in the appropriate vowels in the appropriate places.
Man. You got cops driving by everywhere,
I knew
man.
that from my short Hebrew class. But the third
on your
part
left side.
is what I most want to leave with you tonight. He said, did you know that the consonants used in the spelling of the sacred name,
I mean, we're legit, I'm just saying, you know. I don't want to go to the hassle.
Consonants that if correctly
we're always legit and we're Christians,
do not
but
allow you
I just don't want to go to the hassle.
use your tongue or close your lips.
I mean, we ain't got anything. We're always good.
We know
and everybody out here knows us.
that the pronouncing
you know?
of
all the cops know us too. I mean, as far as they're cool. He's a fighter. He's a boxer. And the other guy, you know what I'm saying, is a promoter, you know.
Yep.
They know we're not doing that, you know, and we listen to the word of God.
that it was inhalation
you know,
and exhalation.
You know, all the girls know us.
The microphone.
You know, the Kool-Aid, you know. That's Kool-Aid, man. Kool-Aid, you know.
Right.
That's Tiger, you know.
This is crazy right here.
And in a few minutes, tears started being audible in a room of PhDs. I now give this to every crowd I can because it can change your life. It can change your life. If I would come back here a year from tonight, and if some of you hold on to this and begin to live it and to experience it and to practice it, your prayer life will dramatically change. But notice, it has nothing to do with thinking. In fact, it moves the entire experience to the cellular body, corporeal breath level. And it is wonder of wonders that the first word you ever spoke when you came out of your mother's womb was the name of God. And the last word you'll ever speak, you don't have to try to remember, do I want to say a prayer before I die? You're going to anyway. That last breath you take on your deathbed will be the name of God. And it's the one thing you've done constantly. You just did it now. And you did it again. You're breathing. And you know what? There's not a Catholic way of breathing and an Anglican way of breathing. There's not a Protestant way of breathing. There's not an American way of breathing. There's not an English way of breathing. There's not a Buddhist way of breathing. There's not a Hindu way of breathing. There's not a Muslim way of breathing. We're all doing this together. And this wonderful God has made the God self that available, that democratic, that accessible. The gift is given. The only problem is the gift is not being received. We've made religion into a series of moral achievement contests. We've made religion into a bunch of hoops that you got to jump, and about a bunch of forms that you've got to bow down before. Instead of leading people to know
what do I say sometimes?
True for themselves.
What do I say? My personal belief? What do I say?
And you can
sometimes
see
we
why
can be
Jesus
too Christian.
Was so happy with his cousin John the Baptist, who was filling in the valleys and bringing the mountaintops down and creating a highway to God. But we've created endless obstacles on this highway. Forgiveness of God. But I don't want you to leave here tonight agreeing with me or disagreeing with me, liking me or disliking me. Who cares? It doesn't matter, really.
The 16,000-seat megachurch near downtown Houston, once the Houston Rockets basketball arena, now owned by the celebrity televangelists. His sermons followed by 7 million people.
God's got this.
When Harvey slammed into Texas, Pastor Joel initially offered prayers, but little else, and social media pounced. His critics demanding more. Open your church as a shelter, one person wrote. Provide food and clothing, please. A fellow pastor tweeting, you have a huge obligation to show the love of Christ at this very moment. Open the doors. The church says the building was inaccessible.
What? Are you serious?
Pictures the church.
Joel Osteen, I ain't never gonna buy his book.
He lied.
Every day is Friday in my ass.
Yeah, he lied. He said the church was flooded. It wasn't. People took pictures of it. It wasn't.
When did this happen? You don't hear about it.
2017.
From outside the
Wow, I was in sack then.
A spokesperson telling the Washington Post, this is crazy. People are saying we've locked the church. The church has been open from the beginning, but it's not designated as a shelter. Amid the rising backlash, Osteen tweeting on Tuesday afternoon, Victoria and I care deeply about our fellow Houstonians. Lakewood's doors are open, and we are receiving anyone who needs shelter.
Now he opened the door.
Giving this explanation to Houston NBC station KPRC.
We were waiting for the right time. Really, Lakewood is always open. We just didn't necessarily have staff here the night that it flooded out here.
Now, volunteers are flocking to the megachurch, packing trucks full of donations.
Wow.
Who's giving this stuff?
And I was gonna buy his book.
That's it.
Every day's a Friday.
And what you see behind me is just a taste
Every
of the
day's a
response.
drum
And I'm
day
told
for
about
him.
300 people
Wow.
upstairs who came in from the storm. We
I'll
talked to
never
some of
watch
them
his ass
yesterday.
again.
I don't know that they realized really where they were.
So
the
much for him
controversy.
being
They
so
say
Christian.
They were just happy to have a place to stay.
Hello, damn, dude. Thanks for checking. I never knew that. See? Yeah. I rest my case again. You hear me?